Hey everyone, it's Dr. Charlotte Hodges. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about exercise and how much you need, how much you don't need, and kind of dispelling a couple of little myths. I've had a chance to listen to some great podcasts, and there's actually this guy, his name's Ben Greenfield. If you ever get a chance, listen to his podcast on Stitcher. He has a lot of really good information about health, and some of the things that I'll be telling you guys I'm getting from him, which he also will get from different studies. But, I have a lot of patients that they're very excited to get out there as soon as they have their surgery, they want to start exercising, or my patients that are doing medical weight loss, they want to know what they can do in addition to changes in their diet that will help them on their weight loss journey. And clearly exercise will be key. I think one thing for patients to think about is, I don't want you to beat yourself up. So often when we first think about exercise, the first thing that we're thinking of is that I need to go figure out how to run a 5K. That is not accurate. If you have 100 excess pounds, so for instance, I am 5 foot. Well, actually I'm like 4 foot, 11 and a half, but we'll just say 5 foot. In my little heels, I'm 5 foot. So let's say I weighed 200 pounds. It is going to be like those guys that we always see out jogging, and they're all buff and they're wearing their little weighted vests and they're sweating buckets. Those weighted vests are only like 15, maybe 20 pounds. If you're 100 pounds overweight, it's like you are wearing 5 of those vests every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now what I want you to do is go get on a treadmill and go run. That's just not going to happen. And so I really think people kind of need to have, number one, a shift in how they are approaching exercise and what they really, what they're considering exercise. I know for myself, I'm 43, and I'm at the point in my life where I just want to be fit. I'm trying to get back into exercising, and really all I'm doing right now is walking. I have a couple of videos that I've made on that, and all I'm doing is walking and increasing the distance so I can get my heart rate up to be about 110, 115. So I think the very first thing when we're thinking about exercise is you don't have to kill it. You do not have to go and do a kickboxing class. You don't have to go do one of those spin classes. You don't have to go do one of those boot camps. Now, all those things can be fun, but number one, I don't want you to injure yourself. But number two, I want you to be able to see some good results. And a lot of times you're going to actually see more results if you actually do an exercise that's much more low impact. So I'll have to say, walking is a great thing. It's, you can really get the results that you want. You'll burn way more calories walking in the same amount of time than if you're riding a bike. At least that's what I've found. So I'm sure that there are some biking enthusiasts out there that will certainly have different opinions on those, but we also have to look at the intensity of the riding compared to the intensity of what my walk is in terms of the calories burned. And honestly, I really think that for my patients, that walking is one of the easiest, and it's certainly the cheapest thing that you can do. So with that being said, the American Heart Association has come out with a recommendation that you should aim to have 150 minutes a week. But what was interesting is that they said, you can do a minimum 10-minute block. And if you do, let's say, 5 10-minute blocks, you're going to get the same benefit if you were doing one 50-minute workout. And this morning I was listening to a podcast, and they were actually doing some studies on men who were very fit, and their exercise that they were doing weight training, and they wanted to see if you increase the frequency, are you going to get a better result? So for instance, they had men that were very fit do weight training, and for the lower frequency group, they would work out for 2 hours, and 2 hours twice a week. And then they had a different group that it was men that were only working out 1 hour, but 4 times a week. So in all, they were both working out a total of 4 hours a week. And what they found was that the results were the same in terms of weight loss and muscle that was being built. So I think that kind of drives home the point that whether you're doing like a walking exercise or aerobic exercise, or even if you're doing weight training, it's all about the amount of time that you're putting into it. And so if you're someone that, for instance, like my mom, she helps to watch my little girl during the week, and she goes to her prayer groups and she has all her little things that she does. She actually will save to do her workouts, her walking on the weekend, and she gets her 150 minutes in on the weekend. For me, and that she does that in 2 days. For me, I actually walk 4 times a week, and we're both getting the exact same benefit, which clearly has been shown both by research done by the American Heart Association, as well as this one study for these weight trainers. So I think that that's encouraging, that even if you only have 10 minutes, I want you to know that if you can just get your heart rate up to like 105, you are getting the benefit. Everybody has 10 minutes. And so just work up to it. First, try doing maybe 1 10-minute block. And then maybe the following week, work out doing a couple of 10-minute blocks. But ultimately, let your goal be 150 minutes. Now, the other thing that I heard on this podcast was, can you do spot training to increase your muscle mass? And then some people are also asking, is there such a thing as spot training to decrease belly fat or fat in one certain area? And really what the research has shown is that when you're exercising and dieting, there's really no exercise that you can do to spot reduce fat, because you're going to end up using fat. Fat is basically your energy source. You're going to lose fat all over, so you're not going to really fat reduce. However, from this one study that I heard on this podcast, they actually had these athletes, and actually apparently athletes that are in the Tour de France, they will do this if they want to try to increase their muscle mass, particularly in just one muscle group. So for instance, if you're a guy and you have already big arms, but now you really want to blow out your legs, what they would do is they recommend doing your weight training in a fasted state or a very low carbohydrate state. So for instance, do your weight training first thing in the morning before you've had your breakfast. So they recommend that. And then they say you need to work out that muscle group till it's completely glycogen depleted, meaning you just work the tar out of that muscle. You just work it to complete exhaustion, but only that one muscle group. And then afterwards, you need to carb load. You need to increase your protein, but you really need to carb load afterwards. I need to delve a little bit more into that research to see if they have some specifics about the amount of carbohydrate. But they found if you are fasting before, and then you work out that one muscle group till you're glycogen depleted, and then afterwards you carb load, then that one particular muscle area really will grow much larger in that one particular area, because it's now really getting fed the nutrients that it needs. So that's another little trick apparently that people have. I'm going to look on that podcast. They'll have links, and I'll find the link to that particular paper so that you guys can read it as well. If you don't want to read all the mumbo jumbo, you can go right to the abstract, which is the very first thing in the paper, or you can go to the very end, which is the discussion, and you don't have to read all about the methods that they used and all the statistics that they had to plug in to do their research. So I hope that this has kind of given you some good little helpful insights. I want everybody to know that everybody has a different fitness level, and it's totally fine to start off slow. Everybody, I want you to just try to, like every day, try to improve a little bit more. There are going to be some days that you're weaker than others, and if those are some days, give your body a break. There are certainly some days when I go out to exercise and it's just the pits. I just don't have any energy. I complete it, but it won't be as hard of a workout as a day where I'm like, oh, I feel good. I have some energy. I can tell I'm feeling a lot better. So listen to your body, start off slow. Try very hard not to compare yourself to your family or friends, and continuing to do your research. And I'm hoping that I can give you some more helpful insights to help you on your weight loss journey. So if this has helped, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a good night.